All right, music fans and truth seekers alike, welcome back to the Harmless Dave show. Yep, it's a show, all right. And I do what I do in real time. And I got some crappy news about Ozzy Osbourne. Um, I know he's already dead. I get that. But cause of death has been released. And I'm going to talk about that in real time for a few real people just like you there and like me here. So, this, according to the New York Times, Ozzy died of a heart attack. Well, so a death certificate filed at a registry in London and submitted by Osborne's daughter, Amy Rose Osborne, also indicates that the legendary Black Sabbath singer had suffered from coronary artery disease. Hmm. When did that start? He already had Parkinson's. So, in addition to the Parkinson's, he had coronary artery disease. I don't remember that being a thing for him because people were always talking about the Parkinson's and everybody was pretty aware of that. The death certificate, which lists his occupation as songwriter, performer, and rock legend, that's true, further states that Osborne died of one, an out of hospital cardiac arrest, two, acute myocardial infarction. All right. And for those of you who have been following all of this nonsense that has been perpetrated upon the global population, when you read acute myocardial infarction, and no, I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but I've done a ton of research on this topic. Myocardial infarction was a big side effect of the you know what, folks. Big side effect of that. All right, so we're still going on the death certificate. 3, coronary artery disease and Parkinson's disease with autonomic dysfunction. All right. So, um, this again, according to the New York Times, and I'm not saying that the New York Times is 100% perfect or whatnot, but if they're reporting it and it's out there in other publications as well, um, this stuff is probably true. It's probably actually on the death certificate. So it's really sad. And I would have never guessed that this was going to be the reason. I'm thinking Parkinson's, and people are going to say, well, of course, heart attack. I mean, look what he did. His whole life was basically on the verge of a heart attack. No, no. I think, if anything, if Ozzy didn't do what everybody was saying for him to do a few years ago, by the way, he did come down with the Kellogg's 19 thing. And so, of course, that probably caused a panic. And being in the UK, where the compliance rate was like 90 to 95%, and Sharon, who I'm sure was taking care of things, said, yes, we need to go down to the local UK version of Walgreens and do the thing, or have someone probably come to Ozzy and do the thing for him or with him. So there's this other website called the peoplesvoice.tv, um, which recalls that he went on a British talk show called Loose Women. He appeared alongside his wife to discuss his experience receiving the you know what and encouraging everyone else to do it as well. He said, I felt like I was being stabbed. Uh, my arm was sore yesterday, but I'm glad I got it, you know? Man. Now Sharon actually didn't do the thing. She said she was planning to get it in the coming weeks. Ozzy has previously spoken about wanting to receive the 2-dose regimen because of his health issues. Um, oh my gosh. It's like opposite day. He says, if I don't do this and I get the you know what, there's a good chance I ain't going to be here. Wow. So possibly just the opposite. Folks, look, you don't have to. What's weird is the people, it's like, I get that there's groupthink out here, but it's almost like a religion. Like if you believe in the medical community and that they had the best interests at heart, right? And they had your best interests at heart, then I'm just spouting nonsense. Conspiracy. You're again with the conspiracy theories. People are convinced that's why I can't upload to the other channel. No, it's actually more of like a clerical thing, and there's nobody apparently there that can help me with it. That's what I've determined. I can upload audio to it. So if it was completely shut down, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm not saying that the things I was talking about were helpful to my cause, but that's not the real reason why it went away. I'm here, right? And I've been a little outspoken. I'm very careful about the words I choose, maybe overly careful. People have chastised me for coming up with things like Kellogg's 19, right? So Ozzy didn't want to get Kellogg's 19. So he went out and he took he took the stuff, and apparently he wanted to do it twice, all right? And so, anyway, I will link to this article from the People's Voice. Interesting that I found it, because when you would look for this kind of stuff a couple of years ago, you probably weren't finding it because the algorithm was taking you somewhere else. It's just sad. All right. Now, you're thinking, he's 76 years old. He's been through enough. Apparently, he was in a lot of pain, but maybe he didn't have to go just yet. He came off a really strong performance with Black Sabbath, which I had very low expectations for. I'm like, really? You're going to send him? I mean, the publicity photos were not good prior to that show. And it says here he promoted this, but I'm sure his wife had more to do with this, and the media and the hysteria. I mean, people are going to forget what happened. The social distancing, the sheltering in place, the count, the body count. We had, what was it? We had didn't we? We had some kind of a count every single day of how many people were either getting it or moving on to the next world. Each and every day here in the United States. That was good, right? That was good for your psychological well-being. Anyway, I guess it's just collateral damage, like the kid's not going to school for 18 months to, in some cases, up to, I believe in California it was longer. And some of these countries, like the UK, Canada, Australia, Israel, just over the top with their compliance rate. A friend of mine, who is a physician, said to me, it's going to take about 10 years for this to work itself out of the system. 10 years. And that's if they introduce a new one, it'll take longer than that. And the more you do it, the longer it's going to stay in the pipeline. But you're not hearing this from the mainstream. In fact, the mainstream probably knew the cause. I'm sure they knew the cause of death here for Ozzy, but they decided to wait so people like me wouldn't go, aha, what's that called again? Myocardial infarction. Yeah. Anyway, folks, just sad news, because this didn't have to be, at least didn't have to be at 76. I mean, Ozzy could have been here for another 5 or 10 years. But, I get it. He's Ozzy Osbourne. He bit the head off of a bat and survived. Apparently, he did some other stuff, which probably could have ended his life sooner. But my theory is he built up a tolerance for a lot of things. You know what I mean? Just when you do all that stuff and then you stop doing it, you might have a higher tolerance, although it may have weakened his immune system. Certainly the Parkinson's can't be attributed to the thing, or can it? Can it? I don't know. I'm sure see, look, did it help? Did doing this help the other stuff? If he did this and he did it twice, do you think it helped his rare form of Parkinson's? Parkin 2 it was called. Anyway, this is just sad news to learn about this. All right. So I will link to the article, and I think we should just pray for all those people who did do this and maybe did it more than once and maybe are just now oblivious to what could happen. As you get older, I'm thinking it's more likely that this is going to affect your heart, your arteries, and whatever else. I mean, I've heard all kinds of crazy stories, and I just keep it all to myself at this stage. I'm trying to do this channel and not be as into this stuff, but how can you not be into this stuff when you know in your gut there's something wrong, and people around you are like, everything's fine. What's your problem, dude? Stay in your lane. You're not a doctor. You don't know anything. Correct. But the doctors they're useless. So someone else needs to come along. I don't know who, but someone else needs to come along and say, you know what? Full investigation. Everybody, including Ozzy, everybody. We need to know if this accelerated their problems or if this was just another coincidence, because that's all I ever hear. Just a coincidence. Nothing to see here. Move on. All right, at least for this video, as I end it, I'm moving on. But, we lost a guy yesterday in this band called Junkyard. Great band, 59 years old. And he looked like, the picture I saw, he looked like he was like 80. What did he do? My guess is he did what Ozzy did. So, God bless everyone out there. It's just Jesus. Don't forget about Jesus, because this life is filled with troubles. It's filled with struggles and troubles and tribulations, all kinds of things that you just can't even imagine. Some days you wake up and you're like, I can't believe this is happening. So without Jesus, there's like zero hope. There's literally zero hope without Jesus Christ. I know a couple of people told me to stop proselytizing. I'm just telling you about Jesus. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Done. Talk to you soon.